No. They trying to make me clean all these dishes back here by myself. Do I have to get all this done in time?
Yes, ma'am. By 12 o'clock.
By myself?
No, with Santa and his hosts of elves. How are you grown and acting like this? What did you think you were signing up for?
Yes, what the hell you think you applied for?
What happened if I don't?
You fired. Fuck you think you...
Face. Why does she look like this? This has to be satire. No. This isn't real. It's a skit. It has to be a skit because there is no way someone decided to record this and give themselves that angle, first of all. If it's real, that makes it even more hilarious, but what are you doing? What? No, this isn't real. This cannot be real. Even though I know that there are people that exist like this. What? It's like that Jackie Chan meme. Yeah, that one.
You fired. Fuck you think you applied for the job for? Fuck you crying for? Do the fucking dishes.
That cannot be real. No way. No way, bro. That is not real. This cannot be real life. You know how people are like, our generation, the generation after us, and the ones that are coming up, they're like really lazy. People are saying they're lazy. If this is real, which I don't believe, now you have to doubt everything that you see. But this is the reason why people are looking at this. I don't know what happened between middle school and when you leave your home or you go to get a job. Like, what did people actually think who act like this, if this isn't satire, or people out there that act like this? What did you think was going to happen? When you signed up for the job, they usually go around and train you and tell you what is expected of you at the job. So I don't know why some people are so shocked. So the next one we're going to see is another person who is saying that she was just too exhausted because of her job. And look, I can get being exhausted from working back to back to back. I've done it. I mean, we've all done it. Well, most of us I know have done it, especially when you have a physical labor job where you're lifting in the sun, hauling weight, especially as a woman. It can be very exhausting. By the time you go home, you are dead to the world. You don't even want to talk to your family. You just take a shower and just pass out. Not to mention, if you're working full-time and going to school full-time, which I've done, my mom has done, my father has done. I mean, I thought that this was just something people realized comes with being an adult. And it feels as though nowadays people are getting upset specifically because they have to work doing the same amount of work or hours that people have been doing for a long time. People who are their peers have been doing for a long time. So the clip here is, I don't know what her being liberal has to do with anything, but like, how do we know she's liberal? I don't know. But it says, woman has quit her full-time job because she was required to work 40 hours a week. She says, I literally haven't showed in 3 weeks because showed. All right, let's listen to what she has to say.
So I quit my job because I can't take care of my basic needs and work 40 hours a week at the...
Okay, already we're off to a really bad start. See, this is what kills me. I don't know who's raising people like this, but like I said, people have been and still are working 40 hours or more and still manage to cook and clean, do their errands, and live their lives. It's not like you're uncovering some new struggle. And let's be really generous and say that if you can't balance your basic needs with a full-time schedule, then maybe that particular job isn't for you. Find a job that suits your lifestyle. I fully agree with that. But crying online about how 40 hours is impossible, it honestly sounds kind of lazy when millions of people do it every single day and more.
At the same time, it's really hard to say this out loud and put it online, but I know that I'm not the only person going through this.
This is going to sound like madness, but not everything needs to be said. Not everything needs to be put online, especially if you're looking for another job in the future. And this is the digital trail that you're leaving behind that your potential future employers are going to see.
I've almost been fired from every job that I've ever had, and it's not because I'm not smart. I actually tend to overperform in the beginning.
I hate when people say, oh, it's not because I'm not smart. If you were as smart as you claim you are, first of all, you wouldn't be putting this up online because you would have the foresight to recognize and to understand that doing this can harm your potential relationships with employers or even personal life in the future. If you have parents, it also doesn't make them look very good either, because people are going to look at your parents and see you as a reflection of them, which I know is unfair, but it happens. Lastly, people might be disinclined to believe you because you're saying that you're a very smart person, and I would think that you're a very smart person, but then if that were the case, you would find a way to manage your time more effectively so you don't feel burned out working 40 hours a week, which is a regular full-time schedule, or you would also learn how to research certain jobs that better suit your personality and lifestyle. I'm definitely not saying this woman is stupid, but she can be a smart, intelligent person and make very dumb decisions. And when you behave a certain way, people are going to judge you based on your actions, not what you say.
It's just that after some time, I inevitably burn out once I wake up one day and realize that I haven't taken a shower in like 3 weeks.
3 weeks? Girl, what why would you post that online? I'm sorry, hold on. No. Okay, let's work something out. Whoops. Sorry about that. Okay, so this is a schedule, let's just say, right? It's not perfect. Let's say this is 5 a.m. to 5 a.m. So here, you got 5 a.m. And down here, you've got 5 a.m. Let's say that you have a 9 to 5 job. Chances are, you're gonna have, let's be generous and say at least one day off. So let's just say Sunday is your day off. This entire thing is done. You should be taking a shower at least. I mean, that's a lot. But let's be super, super generous, hoping also that you're at least washing up, that you can't take a shower every other day of the week for some reason. You go to the bathroom, you can't, whatever. Sunday, you've got that whole day off. All of your errands you can do here. You can even rest. Let's say you wake up and you can sleep in to your heart's content to 12 p.m. or something. You have all this other time to get what you need done, right? Now, let's say on Monday, and for the rest of the week, you have a 9 to 5 job. That means from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. That's this block of time right here. This entire block of time, that is work. Let's say you need an hour of commuting. I would hope that people are smart enough that you can find a job that you're not traveling 3 hours and you're wasting all of that money on gas, so you're bringing in the least amount of pay possible. That doesn't make any sense. But I'll leave an allowance for 1 hour. You want to get there way before time so you give yourself some leeway. So if you start your job at 9, you should be there by 8:30. Which means you should leave by 7:30. At the very least, maybe earlier than that. Let's just say 7 o'clock, just to give yourself some extra time in case things happen. And then you do the same thing for after. Let's just be generous and say that the commuting is going to take 8 o'clock. Let's just say, just be very, very generous with that, right? Let's say you're home by 9. From 9:30 to all this time, this is 4:30 in the morning and stuff, but you're gonna have to go to bed. So let's be fair. If you're going to have to get up again to commute, you probably want to leave yourself enough time, so you're going to have to be up by 6 a.m. So all this time down here is going to be sleep. That means that this swath of time right here, from 8:30 to 10:30, you can take a shower, fix something small for the next day for when you come home. Do some meal prep or some cleaning or just some maintenance cleaning. And then you go back to work and you do it all over again. You still have a little bit of time. You can still get some of that done in the morning as well. As a matter of fact, you can also combine your cleaning with your working out and clean as your workout before you go to work. It sucks. It really sucks. But it depends on the kind of job that you're working. But people, you take that job knowing how many hours you're working. But if you're working 40 hours, which she says that she's working, that means that 40 hours a week, right? 40 hours would mean that she has actually 2 days off. So let's say one of those days is Saturday. So you have all of that off. That leaves all these hours minus, let's say a huge swath of that is you sleeping, you're sleeping in, you get up at 1 p.m. That still leaves a lot of time for you to get your stuff together before you're ready to go to work because it's Saturday, you have the next day off. You can complete that. That's 2 days off. And I was being really generous before when I said you had the 1 day off, but you have 2 days off, providing that you're working 40 hours per week. Or maybe you have one of those jobs where you work a lot of hours. Like there were jobs where I had to work like 12 hours and then you get more days off, or you work less hours on another day and then you work overtime 2 days in a row or something like that. It depends on the job that you have. I like the ones that don't have set schedules and they call you in or whatever. It's annoying because you're like, I thought I was going to sleep in, but you help out anyway and you make money. That's part of what you sign up for. That is what you read. I mean, they have all of that in their writing with what the job entails. But all it comes down to is management. How do you manage your time when you're not at work? I think what we basically also have here are people that weren't taught how to manage their time effectively. So maybe they're wasting time on their day off where they could be filling in for all those other things, just gawking at the wall and then feeling burned out because you haven't managed your time correctly. So I feel sorry for this person that she's feeling burned out, but a 40-hour work week is the standard full-time schedule in most places. Millions of people are doing this, and they have families, babies, commutes, and other responsibilities piled on top of that. So like I said, if you're feeling burned out at 40 hours, it means one of two things. The job itself isn't suited for you, for your personality or your stamina or your interests, or you're not managing your time and your life and your discipline very well.
It's really frustrating because I know that I'm an intelligent person and I've been able to accomplish a lot of really amazing things in my life, but I still can't manage to take care of myself. And it's not just a matter of not trying hard enough or not being disciplined. If I could take care of my basic needs and work full time, I would have fucking done that by now.
Like I said, you're making a lot of excuses for yourself, saying, it's not that I'm not disciplined, it's not that I'm not intelligent, but people with less discipline than you are doing this, have been doing this. I've met friends who have, discipline is not the word I would associate with those people, but yet they are working 50 hours, 40 hours, 48 hours. I've done it. My parents have done it. My friends have done it. My little brothers are doing it. It is about discipline. If you're on here, first of all, you're online complaining about this and making excuses for why you can't do the basic thing many generations and people in your generation have been doing it or are doing currently. So then if it's not you, then what is it? And you also mentioned, which you were very truthful about, good for you, good, that's a good thing. But you did also mention that every person, every job you worked at almost fired you. So what is the common denominator here? The first step in making better choices and being a better person is accepting when you're in the wrong, that it probably is you. You're going to your job and you're not showering. You haven't showered in 3 weeks. You're sitting here and you have the time to make this video and complain, but you don't have the time to step in the shower and wash your punani. You could have taken that time to do, I'm sure she did, but you could have taken that time to do that. You have the time. I see that you have box braids in. That takes a long time, whether you do it yourself or you're getting someone to do it for you. That takes a very long time. You have time to do that. You can make time to take a shower. I'm just saying.
And then some. It's a form of self-sabotage to honestly be putting so much energy into these executive functioning skills at work and not have anything left to give myself. It's like I would deadass wake up at 5 a.m., pace back and forth, start working at 7, finish work at 6, eat, sleep for dinner, and then crawl in bed at 8 o'clock.
Yeah, that's basically how that works. And then on your day off, you do all those errands. That's what my mother does. As a matter of fact, my mother would work 12 to 16-hour shifts, still come home, make sure that we were taken care of. When she was cooking, before I started taking over the cooking, she worked herself freaking bloody. It sucks. She's a registered nurse. You know how that is, especially if you're on the night shift. She worked herself ragged. Barely got any sleep, and she had to sleep during the day, which she had to take pills for because she couldn't, her clock was like, no, you have to be awake in the morning. So then she had to take pills to stay asleep so she could work because she made more money at nighttime and longer hours, not to mention working a 16-hour shift and doing back-to-back of that because she had to work for overtime. Like, people have been doing this. This is also the same woman who also worked full-time and was able to also go to school full-time. She lost sleep. Yes. She paid for it with her health. Yes. But she accomplished it. The problem is, I think, and maybe this is part of our society, so I won't only blame this woman, but they have made a society where people have to conform and they breed people to work. Breed, you know what I mean? Like, they try to teach students and raise kids to essentially become drones of society. Your job isn't supposed to be something that you do for the rest of your life until you die. You're supposed to do that to provide for yourself and work on a career or something that can benefit society that will become your career later, or working on a means of passive income while you're providing for your needs and also putting some of the money into whatever business that you're trying to build. But you see, schools don't teach us that. And our parents were never taught that. So they don't know to tell us that. And we have to figure that out on our own. Now we're in an information age where I'm so glad in my generation we grew up with that kind of information that we could teach ourselves and say, how can I make my job work for me? What can I do so that I can have passive income and not work for the rest of my life until I'm weak in the bones and can't work anymore? You want to be able to do something where you can, I don't know, make some passive income and actually enjoy your money and not retire when you're 65, when you're too old to do anything. I never even got that. Like, why is it the retirement age is so freaking old? You work till you basically are almost in the ground and then you can't go anymore, and that's when you retire. Like, how are you supposed to enjoy the rest of your old lives? The answer is applying yourself, looking at how to make your money work for you, living minimally. Maybe, I don't know, maybe you don't have to get a $20,000 car that you have to make payments on. Maybe you don't have to live in an expensive area like a city hub like Philadelphia that is very expensive, or rent an apartment that's $2,000. Maybe you can live on the outskirts, providing it's still within the hour of commute for your work. Maybe you can get a job at the moment that you don't like as much that pays you a little bit more so you can bank more money. Maybe you can get a $2,000 car instead of a $20,000 car that you have to make payments on, and because it's newer you have to pay more insurance on it because it's a newer car. I mean, people don't think about this, but everyone wants to have the latest fashion. Everyone wants to have the latest thing. Oh, this apartment, it doesn't have the amenities here. I don't like that I have to walk. I want this. I want the latest phone that's $2,000. I want a hairstyle that's $3,000. I want shoes that are $5,000. Everyone wants to look like they're rich, but they don't have the means to live like they are yet, which you're just a poor person pretending as though you're rich and fooling yourself into thinking for a moment that you feel good about your circumstance because you kind of sort of look like you have money while you're suffering to put on that presentation. That doesn't make sense to me, and that's a poor mentality. And I think that's the problem and why a lot of people are feeling burned out right now.
And it's like a part of me does feel insane by quitting at the verge of a recession. But it's like, if I actually want to build a future for myself and get there in one piece, taking care of myself has to become my full-time job. I was not born to raise shareholder value. I'm actually meant to live a life, and I need to learn how to be a person in order to do that.
You should have done all of that from you were a child. Your parents should have taught you how to do that. Like, I really don't understand. And you quit your job. Okay, are you getting a part-time job? How are you providing for yourself? Are you moving back home to live with your parents? You might not like that, but it might be good for you to do that. And if you are living with your parents still, what's the excuse? And if you're not, and you have to pay rent, now you have to take care of yourself. How are you going to do that when you have nowhere to live? Unless you put some money into a van and live out of your van and make that work for you. That's what a lot of people are doing now. A lot of people are going homeless or van lifing and whatever. You can do that. That's an option for you. Or, hey, why don't you join the military? Get benefits that way. You see, why don't you do jobs that you don't like doing, like janitorial stuff or being a garbage man or, you know, stuff you don't want to do that might pay you more, but it's not as glorious as working at a corporate job that's burning you out. Shoveling shit. I've done farming jobs. I'll tell you, I love animals and I love working outside. You come home smelling like horse and cow shit. Yes, you know, if you're working and you're harvesting stuff, you're in the blazing heat, bent over, tilling the soil or working on the equipment, and you're doing it for hours and hours and hours at a time. I understand. I've even done, for a short period of time, construction. It breaks your body. You can do warehouse jobs. That breaks your body, but you bank more money. You can do Grubhub jobs. In the interim, let's say you have your days off, you can also do that. There are ways to do it. Like, people are making excuses. There are ways to do this, and you can still take care of yourself. Other people are doing it. This isn't something that just happened to you all of a sudden. Other people have been doing this. And the funny thing, I'm not saying this about her, but it's funny when you meet other people that have similar lifestyles as this or viewpoints as this, and then they're trying to tell you about the state of the world and what you should do with your life and how you should think and feel when they haven't even gotten themselves together. I find that very hilarious. I think this also speaks to one of the bigger issues that we have, which is a failure in our society to teach children how to become adults. Why are people not teaching children in classes how to do your taxes, how to manage your money, how to go after jobs like trade jobs, and why those would be better and why those are good for society? How to, I don't know, when I was growing up in my culture, in my country, they taught us like home ec, and they taught the boys how to build, like how to do carpentry, Boy Scouts, like all these other things, survival stuff. The women learned home stuff, like things that you would need, how to sew, how to cook. The boys were taught that too. So the boys learned from like really, I mean, I went to a prep school because maybe it was different there, but I assume, like, I've heard people like the older generation say that in America, they had similar classes too. So it's really confusing. I don't know. Do they not offer those anymore? Do they not have comprehension classes? That was a really big one in my culture. Did they not have those in America, where the children at a very, very young age, we're talking about 5, 4, 6, 7, are given comprehension classes throughout their life, and even when they get to like high school and stuff, where they literally train you how to solve problems, how to comprehend. Comprehension exams, they call them. Do they not have that? Because that's part of living as well, learning how to comprehend things. Hey, here's a problem. How do you solve this? This is a problem. Do you know how to solve this? Okay, there are 3 ways to solve this. Which is the quickest way to solve this? Which is the most efficient way to solve this? And people, it's like nobody teaches those classes anymore. Now they're teaching things that really don't matter. I don't know why they're teaching the kids now in some schools, hey, how do you feel today? Or what do you feel like? What does that have to do with them as a person and learning to grow up and becoming a fully functional human being? I really don't understand. And then you have people coming online burned out and feeling like they're insane and not showering for weeks on end because they don't know how to do something basic that, number one, their parents should have taught them, and number two, the school system should have also taught them. I think that, man, society's failing everyone. And the funny thing is, the wild thing to me is that we have it at our fingertips and at the tip of our eyeballs. All the information is there. It's not like you don't know. You have people around you. I'm assuming you have a support system or other friends that can do this and have been doing this. Why not ask them? If you're that smart, instead of putting this online and making yourself look idiotic, even though you're not idiotic, but that's how you're making yourself look, go ask your friends. Go ask your parents. Go look online. How do I manage my time? What is the best job for my personality? What are other jobs that I could do so I don't feel burned out, where I can still make this amount? How long do I have to do this? What are some passive income avenues? What can I start a Roth IRA? Like, these are things that you should be doing, not going on TikTok and complaining and trying to be a victim and saying, oh, I know there's other people out there like me. They're figuring it out. We're all figuring it out. You can figure it out too. Whenever you feel as though you're at rock bottom and you feel the need to post this, that is the time when you should stop and not post it. I think that's one of the things that people need to learn in this day and age. You don't post it. Think for a second. Think past your nose how this might affect you later. And you might say, man, I'm gonna, I don't know. Now I don't want employers to see this. If you're going to be working in corporate, trust me, this is not something that you want online. You don't want other people seeing this, and now other people see you, and they're going to be like, oh, well, that was very cringy. Like, why did you upload that? Now it's there forever. Just saying. But anyway, I hope these people, if it's not satire, it could be a skit, but if it is a skit, it's also a cautionary tale to people who are out there who actually think like this. To, get your game up, man. People have been doing it. You can do it. You got this.